Now Wolves have sacked Dean Saunders after the club was relegated to League One. Michael Sibbert's been following the story closely today. He's here with us now. It's quite a job following Wolves, isn't it, at any time, Michael? They're looking for their, fifth manager in a little over a year, but is anybody really surprised that Saunders has gone now?
Well, probably not, Matt, because it's been a disastrous season for Wolverhampton Wanderers, and now they've sacked their manager, Dean Saunders, and his assistant, Brian Carey. Saunders took over in January this year and won just 5 of the 20 matches he was in charge for. The club will now be looking for their 5th manager, as Matt said, in fewer than 15 months. When Dean Saunders arrived at the press conference to confirm him as the new Wolves manager in January, there was a sense of optimism. This was the long-term club stabilising appointment that the fans had been waiting for. But just 4 months later, Wolves have finished in the relegation zone, and now the manager's car parking space at the entrance of the Molineux is empty once again. Wolves on the lookout for another manager, this time to lead them in League One.
He's come in and he's the manager, so it falls on his head. But I would have liked to have saw him have at least next season, because he could have got rid of some of the players, brought his own players in and took it from there.
That side, even if it didn't play well this season, should have finished about halfway. I mean, seriously, I think you could have got the man in the street to keep that side up.
League One or no League One, this is a great job. And I'm sure there'll be a flood of applicants that will be very, very good.
The club released a statement this morning which read, manager Dean Saunders has been informed by Wolves that his contract is to be terminated. The club will now take as long as necessary to make this crucial appointment, and there will be no publicly communicated timescales. That appointment could be former Millwall manager Kenny Jackett. He left the London club today saying he wanted a new challenge. The bookies have him as favourite at 5-4. Peterborough boss and former Wolves midfielder Darren Ferguson is at 13-2. And Mickey Adams could be on the shortlist after guiding Port Vale to promotion from League Two. Whoever is chosen to lead a Wolverhampton Wanderers in the 3rd tier of English football will have to deal with changes in playing staff and a huge sense of expectation that they can guide the club back to the Championship on the first attempt. So that's at least 2 jobs lost at Wolves, but there are more than 300 other employees at the club who, we understand, have still not been told what impact relegation will have on their jobs. Most of the players' contracts were signed while they were in the Premier League, so their wage bill is comparatively high. The owners have spent millions investing in the stadium, and having been relegated from the Premier League last year, Wolves are still receiving £16 million a season in parachute payments. The club is already losing millions of pounds a year, and that situation will only be worsened by another relegation.
It's going to have a major impact on the finances of Wolves, because they'll now be having to survive on League One attendances, sponsorship and merchandising, so their income will fall. The better players in the Wolverhampton Wanderers squad are likely to be picked off by clubs in the Championship or Premier League, leaving a group of players who perhaps didn't perform particularly well, who could be on high earnings, who will be difficult to get rid of.
Well, it's not just the football club likely to suffer. Having a successful team helps put a city on the map in terms of tourism and investment, and local businesses benefit from fans attending games in big numbers.
Lots of people, when they're talking about Wolverhampton, they refer to this part of the world by reference to the football club. So for people, say, in Europe or further afield that have never heard of Wolverhampton, sometimes if you talk about the Wolves, then they can immediately pinpoint some reference to the locality. There will be businesses within the vicinity that are supplying into the football club. And we also need to bear in mind that there will be businesses that are perhaps expecting a lower footfall on match days in the restaurant industry and pubs and hotels.
Well, another one of our side, Stoke City, aren't